about to start recording, so we're going to be, I think they switched cameraman, so Curtis will be filming Dion and Millennial Mike while they have their conversation, and they're going to try to go up these stairs without anybody falling.
My brother would have said what my brother was talking about the rainbow here yesterday. You know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
Are we live?
We're live.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a good day for the May. It's going to be Millennial Mike. Recording some videos on a subject. So hopefully you do too. You've been saying, Mike, we've been interacting and doing videos for 4 or 5 years. But for the last 2 years, you've had enough rentals to where you were saying, I could retire within the next 2 years. But you've been saying for 2 years. And that wouldn't be a problem if you retired today. But the thing you're saying today is, you can retire within 2 years.
Yeah.
So let's go over a little bit of why, but before we do that, I want to ask you a question. That's the purpose of this video, giving everybody a chance logging in to understand the purpose of today's video is to figure out why you're not retiring today when you said you could 2 years ago, and why you're today saying it's going to be another 2 years. What I actually want to know is, what would your life look like? Play it out for the next, the rest of your life, if you did not invest in real estate.
If I'd never purchased any real estate ever, except, maybe like a single family house to live in, like most people, well then I'd probably do the next 15 to 16 years as a police officer. I would be working towards my pension, which, honestly, the pension system that we have is phenomenal. I mean, I would be doing much better than many regular people are. That said, unfunded pension liabilities are one of the #1 things bankrupting city and state governments. So, will that be there for me for the next 60 years? Who knows? If I lived 60 years, I'd be at 95. I think that's reasonable. So I'd just be average. I'd be regular. I'd be like everybody else used to aspire to be. The American dream: buy a house, 2.5 kids, get a pension, retire with a golden rod, watch when you're 60.
So retiring with that pension, about how much would you expect per month? That's what we know.
Yeah. So the way that our pension system works is it's 50% of the average of your highest 5 paid years. Most likely, my highest 5 paid years are my last 5 years. So what will my salary look like on average 15 years from now? With the way inflation is, honestly, I probably would be making at least $200K a year. So my pension would be about $100,000 a year for the rest of my life.
So $100,000 a year in 2050 numbers,
Right.
is not going to be as great as you expect.
No, definitely.
Then you'll have Social Security.
Yeah.
So that's another maybe
A little bit.
2,000 a year.
If it's still there.
Okay. Do you think you'll enjoy retirement if you work until you're 65?
I mean, I think like anybody would truly enjoy retirement at any age, but obviously there's going to be significantly more to enjoy if you are retired at 35 or 40 or 40 before your body fails you, before you're slower, when you have more youth left to do the things that people say they want to do when they're retired.
Like walk around Las Vegas?
Walk around Las Vegas with your boys.
Okay. So that's what life looks like. Your worst case scenario is you're like everyone else. You work until you're too old to enjoy retirement. You don't really have enough money to really enjoy retirement. Although not working is better than having to work. Sure. Why do you still think it's going to take you another 2 years to retire? One of my favorite comments. You've been saying that for 2 years.
We just got that one yesterday. And see, here's what happens. Right? You've been investing for X number of years, you got X number of properties. How long do you think you retire, you become financially free? I think I could probably do it in the next 2 years. And to Dion's point and the commenter point from yesterday on the live stream, I have been saying that for the last 2 years. So are you a hypocrite? Are you a liar? Are you wrong? Are you stupid? Are you ineffective? Did you make a mistake? Did you fail? A little bit of everything and a little bit more. The reality is that you don't know what you don't know. And that applies to almost everything. So for me, if I look at my entire last 7 years of investing in real estate, and I took the last 3 years worth of properties that I purchased, if I took all of those properties and I just sold them and took that money and put that money into my first 4 years worth of real estate, I could easily live off of the cash flow and the net worth that I have from those first 4 years worth of real estate. The problem is that if I do that, I can no longer afford to grow a business. And And that's where I am very reluctant to accidentally retire prematurely. Because my goal is not to just retire and never do anything anymore. Dion lives an amazing life. He does exactly what he wants. He has the money to cover his expenses. He has excess money to continue investing. But I don't want to just make it to the point where I only have enough money to cover my bills, take a couple of vacations. I want to make sure that when I'm retired, I have enough money to continue growing a portfolio, which means I need more money before I retire.
So it's not just reaching financial freedom so all your bills are paid. Then you can push to have emergencies. And you want to be able to continue to invest after you no longer work without having to worry about being able to invest.
Absolutely, yeah. So the way that it is right now, my portfolio, all of the cash flow from my rental properties funnels right back into my rental properties. A lot of the income from my job funnels right into my rental properties. If I take away that giant shovel I have of a job, I no longer have the ability to funnel as much excess income into real estate. My ability to grow gets cut in half. I get hamstrung. And so I'm trying to avoid having that happen.
So this video is being made for people to watch this video, but now I have some information I'd like to share with you.
Sure, let's hear it.
You've heard the old bull, young bull stories, right? In the retirement stage, you're getting into the retirement stage.
Yeah. Young buck, old bull.
There you go. I believe this is a good time for you to do what I do and flip your mental thinking on how you spend your money. A few years before I retired, I specifically started living only on rental income, and 100% of my W-2 income was invested. Right? Okay. That gave me a litmus test of can I survive on my rental portfolio. Right. So to test your portfolio and live on it, you're still making the same amount of money, whether it's rent or income from your job. Sure. But you flip where it's coming from for your expenses. So in 2 years now, we're saying in 2 years as of February 2026, and this video is being recorded. Sure. You're saying in 2 years you would have had 2 years of testing your portfolio to live within. Right. Will it handle the black swan events, the health concern, the extended time off without pay for some incident that you probably don't cause. But that way in 2 years when you go to pull the trigger, you've already tested the portfolio. Sure. And now you're just using the increase that you have in these last 2 years. Sure. I'm sure these sirens are really helping with the sound.
It's the power of editing.
For Frank's Live, I don't know if it's the power of editing. Sorry. We'll give a second to go away. Okay, so it's so you can continue to grow. That's why you haven't retired yet. I think you should test the portfolio instead of living on the rental income. Continuing to work, doing the overtime, and everything for the sake to continue to invest. Oh, now he's going to walk backwards down the stairs. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're not going to make him do that. Let's go back this way.
I think everybody watching Frank's Live should give Curtis that thumbs up for his walking backwards skills.
He did much better than I could have.
You want me to test my portfolio?
I do.
For
Test
the
the
next 2
portfolio.
years, prior to retiring.
Right. Now, in 2 years, what do you think is going to be the biggest changes in these next 2 years before you retire? Because I think you should also change the verbiage to somewhere between tomorrow and 2 years.
Somewhere between tomorrow. Sounds very familiar to a guy who used to make videos with me. He used to say somewhere between now and the next 3 years, and then big by 6 months. So I wonder if that's why I'm getting that advice.
It's a mental shift where there's not a direct date tied to it. It's when it feels good and makes sense.
Sure. Well, so there is one major component that I also couch you're taking into consideration, and it's the fact that in the state of Washington, fathers get paternity leave. You get both the federal FMLA and you get state PFML. So I can take 3 months of one and then 3 months of the other for a total of 6 months of paid time off. I want to have another kid. Me and my wife do. And we get married in, my fiance, we get married in April, about another 1 year. And we're going to try it right away.
Wish I had tabs queued up to play with.
So from my perspective, if we had a kid at the end of 2026, beginning of 2027, I then immediately go into 6 months of paid time off, and my goal would be to never, ever go back to work. So I wouldn't want to give up the opportunity to get those 6 months free, and just like retire today, like, oh yeah, to have 6 months of paid time off. It's a pretty beneficial thing to have.
Here's a counter argument. So recently I was watching Simon, the Uneducated Economist, and he talked about enjoying to continue to work because he enjoyed continuing to work.
And he has healthcare.
He has healthcare, and he gets a discount for work. But here's the thing, all great arguments, and actually Simon said that's not what he meant. Yeah, 100% credit, but it was a clip.
He's a good dude. Shout out.
It's actually pretty good. Let's say right now I lost my ever-loving mind and also happy. Like, okay?
Can you have?
I have. It looks like I am happy, but you're right. Exactly.
Spend too much time in Seattle.
So, yes, exactly. I have permanent paternity without having to file for it. Hope I didn't piss my boss off in the last few months and schedule it. I think it could cost me my position on squad, but I'm giving up, or change something else, or take your vacation days as well. Yeah, paid vacation, paid time off is great, like a tax benefit. Never buy something for the tax benefit, but when you buy something that has a tax benefit, you utilize it.
It's nice.
I would not continue to work for the paid maternity leave, but while you're working, you can benefit from it. But if you can reach financial freedom and continue to have kids after those 2 years, you're living on a perpetual
But to your earlier point when you said stress test the portfolio for the next 2 years, why don't I do it?
You get your children.
Twins, triplets?
There you go.
There we go. I mean, I'm always one to say we could just augment the relationship. We can have as many kids as she's willing to share the load with. Anyways, that's a terrible innuendo. Anyways, when it comes to stress testing the portfolio and living on it, I did my investing differently than Dion. A lot of my projects are heavy remodels, heavy renovation projects. They require substantially more money out of my pocket to get these things remodeled. So something that I've been talking about recently on my channel is that cash flow doesn't exist for the first 5 years. Cash flow also doesn't exist during your growth phase, if that's longer than 5 years. And cash flow doesn't exist if you're constantly doing remodel renovation projects. Because every extra cent that you have of money, you immediately dump right back into your real estate portfolio. So I can't even afford to attempt to live off of my current cash flow because I have so many projects that I'm feeding. Now, if I got rid of the last 3 years worth of purchases, which are all of my remodel purchases, if I just erased them, liquidated them, took that money, paid off a couple rentals, I could then start your experiment. But the only way I can start to live off of my rental income is if I first finish up all my projects and then stop. And then I could.
You do invest very differently. The projects, when you have projects going on, you are always broke. Always you're waiting for money to put into the bank.
It's true.
All right, so somewhere between tomorrow and 2 years from now, when you retire,
That's right.
let's wrap up with what will life look like after that?
After I've retired. So for me, I have taken it upon myself to seriously internalize what the lumberjack landlord talks about all the time. Number one, property managers suck. They suck at leasing properties. Number two, they oftentimes make as much money or more money than you do. And so if I take these things and I say to myself, what can I do to ameliorate the situation? It's all right. I need to spend more time where I invest, and I need to spend more time actually creating the systems and processes to self-manage and hopefully move to a point where I self-manage like Dion, where it's not super hands-on and tons of time, but certainly more than I do right now. And honestly, I probably manage my property manager more than Dion manages his properties. That's actually probably realistic. I'm managing my property managers more than Dion self-manages his own portfolio. But Dion has systems and processes. I have to convert from property manager to me and then put in place systems and processes. Now, some of that I'm going to do over the next 2 years, but I think probably I will have to finish it and perfect it once I am fully retired. I will split my living time, half the month in Gary, half the month in Florida or Washington. And we'll start working on those other things.
That gives us a great topic for one of our debate videos on should you invest where you live or invest at a distance, because what you're learning as you're wrapping up investing at a distance is that you can control where you live. So you have systems and processes.
Right.
Not that I'm right. But Thanks for hanging out with us. See you at the One Rental at a Time event. We have tonight, Midnight Denny's meetup. See you there. Last night was amazing. The staff was great. They had overwhelming 2 people there. So this is the time. Yeah.
One really
Even though we
angry
called
lady.
a month in advance and said, hey, this is happening.
Yeah.
Short video.
Appreciate you guys as always for watching. Thanks for being here, Dion. And until next time, see you later.
Ciao.
Money. Now let's up the sound right now.
You get a few viewers?
You only look